Hi, guys, and good afternoon. I want to talk about Nvidia today, something that's coming up right now. I've been talking about Nvidia stock for about the past year, and that's when I started doing some research, started watching some other videos, and hearing what people were talking about, through the bat channels. And what they were saying was round tripping was the issue here, that Wall Street was investing money into small cap companies, and those small cap companies were investing money back into Nvidia. And it's because that's their long, that's what they're big on. And it's kind of weird because Nvidia was taking their money and investing it right back into those small cap companies, and then they were investing back into Nvidia again. So it's round tripping, as they call it. So it's an accounting practice. It's frowned upon and or used to manipulate books. But there's a bigger issue here with Nvidia if people are really paying attention. The overspending, right? And I'm talking about from the Mag 7, and with the exception of Nvidia. So when we talk about Microsoft, Meta, Google, Amazon, all the big boys, they're all spending money with Nvidia for their GPUs. And I've said this, people are getting rewarded based off the amount of money that they're spending, not actual profits that they're making. This is when you're doing valuations for companies and you're getting this is what they're worth, this is what they're spending, this is what their income is. You go, okay, well, hold on. Nvidia's making all this money because everyone's spending money, right? And it's the I don't want to get left behind type deal where everyone's willing to overspend for AI, but there's no profits yet. There's no return on investment for it. So at some point in the near future, all of these Mag 7 companies are eventually going to stop spending and or not spend as much, like at the rate that they're doing. And this is where Mark Zuckerberg had talked about it like 3 months ago in an interview. He had said, I'd rather overspend than underspend. I don't want to get left behind. And this all reminds you of the dot-com bubble era for the whole stock market. But if AI is the new everything and you're getting rewarded for spending money, this is the problem that I have. I've been trying to dial it in. I said, okay, the cost of capital is the most it's ever been. If you're going to borrow money and spend it that way, if you're actually going to create debt and not bring in any type of revenue during an inflationary period while the Fed rate is the highest it's ever been, you're borrowing money right now at a tick you don't want to. This is not free money. This is not, covenant free money. And if it's all the cash they have, I'm talking about billions and billions of dollars, guys. Nvidia's reaping it all. But then I go look at Nvidia's insiders. And for the last 18 months, they have been stripping away their ownership of shares. And no, they're not going to go sell, 5 billion shares, 10 million, whatever the hell they have. Mr. Hong, whatever he has, the CEO, he's worth like $100 billion right now. He's top 15 guy in the world as far as wealth, but he's cashed out almost $1 billion worth of shares. So he's taking it. He started doing a tick up on selling shares because maybe this is the peak of where you're at. I don't know what's going to happen this week. I know Nvidia is going to come out with their earnings report, and if you saw a slowdown from spending, then that's going to hurt the chart. But people are all invested into one thing, and I told you it's like the Red Rover type style, where like everyone has their arms interlocked, and you're waiting to see who's going to break and fall. If the top 7 companies in the world are all invested money into each other, they can hold up the whole market. Do you feel like you're in an investment where it's the best investment of your lifetime? Like this stock market is performing, just the economic and geopolitical atmosphere, is it the best it's ever been? I'm asking. I'm not accusing anyone of anything, because I know the amount of money I make today might be the most I've ever made, but so is gas, so is food, so is energy, and so is life. So it doesn't even itself out there. I'm trying to stay positive with it all, only because I'm stuck in this country with an administration that doesn't really care about this country. It's different the way I view it, but I defend my country till the day I drop, right? It's just one of those things. So maybe, just maybe, from the S&P 500 standpoint, this is why I'm talking about this, because for the last 2 years, I've been tracking S&P 500, and they've been bumping up, hitting all-time highs, but it was based off the fact that you were pushing tech and semiconductor stocks. The rest of the sectors were lagging. They were trailing. This year alone, you had 454 companies out of the S&P 500. They were actually pacing below their 200 AMA. So if they're not doing well, everyone's burning off 25%, 30%, 50% of their market cap. Like, what's really happening with the economy? Well, it's it's being masked, it's being disguised by the top 7 companies. And those top 7 companies are all invested into each other. That's Nvidia. So I understand what I'm looking at. What I'm seeing right now, before the Fed actually decreases rates like they say they will in September, and everyone's already pricing it in, I'm seeing that the equal weighted index is at an all-time high. You mean to tell me I'm in the best economy in human history right now? I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right. So I'm going to pay attention to Nvidia's earnings this week. They mean a lot to a lot of people, but certainly to the whole market, and certainly to what the hedge is to the market. The hedge is blue chips, guys. If you believe in a short squeeze, you believe in a short footprint, that everything is short and it's the house of cards and everything will fall down, well, you can buy things like GameStop, or you can buy things like AMC or Mullen Automotive or any other company you think is really short. We're about to find out. We're about to find out. And maybe there's a run here. Maybe this is what you're looking for. But I've told you this, and I'll say it again. You guys want this mountain? You guys want this Moass, per se? Well, you got to burn off every blue chip. You got to burn them all. They all got to melt. And the only thing holding them up is Nvidia. That's crazy.